Okay, guys. Well, here comes the one and only Big T, Baby T, Mr. T, whatever you want to call him, T, Uncle T, whatever you want to call him. Where's he at? Where's he at? We got time. Hey,
Hold on now.
back there.
Hold on now.
So make it back there.
Get somebody on my right. Get me feeling alright. I've been thinking trying to hide.
Appreciate you, DJ.
Alright.
How y'all doing? I don't know you. This is all new for me, as y'all know. And I was sucking that Tom back there in the back. He's an afro just shining. No, I appreciate y'all for being here. Like I said, this is all new for me. This is something I'm just trying out, brand new. I'm trying to talk now to get the nerves out so I can go ahead and just start talking normal.
You got this.
Yeah, I feel it in my chest. But do I need the mic? Or can y'all hear me like this? I'll leave the mic just for dramatic effect. Cause I throw it at somebody. You be first, just know that. Alright, so again, this whole thing terrifies me. Like talking to y'all in front of people and all that. The camera's right there. Hey, how you doing? But it's a good fear, but it's also like one of those fears that just like haunts you, just stays on you. And it's not many things that scare me like that. You know, the basics: water, needles. You know what I'm saying? But like big water, not like the pools. But so I can only name two things that really scared me. Of course, there's always somebody that's late. Go ahead. Hey. She don't see me. Only two things that really scared me more than doing comedy in front of y'all. The first thing I would say is loose dogs. I say loose, because dogs by themselves cute. Oh, you got your nice dog with you. But loose dogs are something different. And for me, it started very young, and I mean, like, you might think like I'm a big dude, whatever, but I promise you, I'm going to run, I'm gonna outrun you, and you if a dog get loose in here right now. If a chihuahua came in here right now, I'm not first. I promise you that. I promise you that. But it started young, so we moved here from Mississippi when I was 7, and we moved to Tukwila. And so in Tukwila, there's 152nd. It's a long street. You go up the street, to the right, you got all the houses. To the left, you got other houses. You go up and you turn down a long alley. So I would walk up that street with my friends. Got my friends rolling with me, you know what I'm saying? Hey, how you doing? How you doing? You know what I'm saying? They walk this way, I go up the hill, and I would have to turn down the street, and at the end of the street is a very big fence. The fence, or a gate, I would say. It's a very big gate. The gate was like the gates to heaven. It's like a huge gate. It wasn't just like a normal little, it was like, come in, my child. Like, huge gate. And so, right before the gate is my grandma's house to the left, and to the right was a long fence. So, my grandma would meet me on the street every single day. Come meet me, pick me up, cool. After a couple of weeks, she got comfortable. Said, you know, you can do it yourself now. I'm like, no problem, grandma, you know? So, one day, say bye to my friends. Cool, I start walking. I'm gonna sit my ass down, sorry. I start walking, and so I get to the street, and I look down at the fence, and the gate is open. No big deal. I'm guessing the dog will be inside, you know, whatever. So I start walking, kind of cautious, you know, one of those like cautious walks where it's like, you're not walking fully, but you kind of double checking as you go. So I get about halfway there, and then a dog comes up. This dog, I cannot tell you what kind it is. All I know is it was brown. That's how fast I ran. I only saw the color. The dog's name was Kodiak. But again, I'm country and I'm from Mississippi. So I'm telling everybody it's a coyote. 'Cause I don't know what Kodiak is. I ain't never heard the name Kodiak. So the dog walked out, and I swear to you, this is exactly how the dog came out. And looked right at me. So I take off running. Mind you, I'm a fat kid who's 7 years old. So my running ain't like a sprint. My running is me going this as fast as I can. So I take off. The dog's running behind me. I get to the street. Cars are going. So I'm like, what am I going to do? I run into the street like a dummy, and the first car comes by. He swerves out the way. So I'm like, oh, snap. As he swerves, he does the one thing I least expected. Move, fat ass. So now I'm scared, hurt, and offended in the same sentence. So I'm sitting there like, sir. Even the dog was like, bro. He's just overweight. It's not that, like, it was bad. So I get to the neighbors, the next door neighbors had apartments, a bunch of kids I was cool with, and we came up with a plan. The plan was, on the fence, there's a little door. You walk through the door, they distract the dog, I run across to my grandma's house. We do the plan. We're at the house, we got the blueprint out, you know what I'm saying? We're sitting there like, we're gonna do this, we do this play, we're gonna run X wing, left 2, X wing on 2. So the plan works. It works to a T. They distract the dog runs, I go across the fence. Now, problem 2, I gotta get in the house. So the door's locked, and the door's right here. The window's right here. So I'm at the door. My grandma's at the window. Hey, I'll be there 1 second. So I'm banging like, I can't explain how hard I'm banging. So as I'm banging, the dog walks into the yard. So now I'm on the door. Right here. Grandma's still looking at me like, you're so crazy. You bitch. The dog walks, and my grandma loves cooking, so she had a bunch of like food in the garden. The dog's going through the garden. There was a squirrel in the garden that had my back. And you're probably wondering, how did the squirrel have your back, Tomaz? I'm gonna tell you. The dog's back to me like this. The dog's just going. And I see the dog go to the squirrel and say, mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And the squirrel looks me in the eye and says, I can't make this up. Like, the squirrel said. So I'm looking at the squirrel like, my God, like, let's go. Dog turns, sees me. Grandma opens the door. She runs out full speed, yelling, yeah, get out of here, get out of here. I'm excited. I'm like, yeah, get out. Like, you know, I'm turned. I'm thinking she got my back. She mad as hell. Let's go to the neighbor's house. Yes, ma'am, let's go. I'm walking with her. You know what I'm saying? Get to the neighbor's house, and I'm like, yeah, she gonna cuss them out. She said, get your dog out of my garden, because I'm trying to cook, and I can't cook with that nasty dog in my garden. And yeah, he was worried about the garden too. I can't cuss my grandma. So I said, no, what about me? Shut up, boy. My garden is extremely important. And that was the day I realized I'm not the number one option for my grandma. So now it's a year later. I'm 8 years old now, I'm feeling myself, feeling cool, walking home every day. They added a couple new dogs. They got a Chihuahua now. They also said, whenever the gate is closed, or whenever the gate is open, the dogs are in the house. Chihuahua every now and then will slip out the gate, but they start disciplining in them, so it was all cool. Couple of, you know, nothing too crazy. So I'm 8, I'm walking home, I turn down the street. Lo and behold, the gate's open again. What I see is something an 8-year-old kid could never, ever unsee. I see the walkway, the Chihuahua walks out, turns. Then another dog walks out, turns. Then the 2 other ones walk out on the other side and just turn, leaving an empty space in the middle. Guess who comes in the middle? Kodiak. Kodiak comes out, and y'all gonna think I'm crazy, but I know exactly what he said. He came out and said, Tomaz. What you doing here, Tomaz? I'm pleading with the dog, like, bro, like, come on, big homie. Like, I'm just trying to get onto the house, you know what I mean? I'm right there. Oh, we know where you are. You right here. I'm like, no, I'm trying to get to that house. Oh, this house? And he steps up. That's crazy. It's our house. When I tell y'all, I ran so hard, I don't remember what happened. I can't even tell you the end of the story. I just ran. I ran like 3 years. I don't even know what happened after that. But what did happen was, I never got caught. My cousin did. He got caught one day, got his ankle. So he was messed up, not horribly, just a little bite, but they had to put the dog down. So the neighbors had a daughter who was really sweet, really nice, came over all the time, and I got in trouble because one day she came over and she was like, can you guys please say some kind words for my dog? I miss him. One of my cousins was like, well, he was fast. Other cousin was like, yeah, well, he had a strong jaw. Then it got to my turn, and I got in trouble because I said, 1 down, 4 to go. Maybe. And yeah, got my ass whooped for that, but it's all good. The next part was, I was 13, and we lived in a new house. And my best friend came over, so we're all chilling, and we both had a new scooter. I had a new scooter, he had a new bike. So we were like, we're gonna go riding, and we had a mailbox that was neighborhood mailbox, big mailbox, with a big white fence behind it. Behind the fence was one of the most terrifying dogs ever, a Rottweiler, named Elmo. Anybody know a dog with a sweet name is from the devil himself. Let me tell you right now. So we had this system where me and my mom would pull up to the mailbox. I stay in the passenger seat. Window down, unlock the key, pull it up, take the door, close it, go on home. Never got out the car. So, me and my homie riding and all that, and she says, while y'all riding, go ahead and check the mailbox for me. A he, and walks off. My homie's like, no problem. I'm ready to call CPS, anybody, because I'm like, you don't understand what she just said. He's like, well, it's just a dog, don't worry about it. So we go to the mailbox, we get up there, and there's a little hole in the fence. And all you can see is like his feet running through the hole, whatever. So I'm trying to check the mailbox, and I'm looking, I'm missing it. And he's like, let's back like a little, takes it. He opens it, and I'm looking at the fence as he's, messing with it. So I'm sitting there like, dang. And then he was like, man, you're acting real scary. So when I think, I look straight sometimes. I'll black out like this. So I'm thinking like, man, he's right. I'm tripping. This dog ain't gonna do nothing. And as I'm thinking that, the fence comes into my peripheral. And it takes me a minute. I'm like, what's different? Something ain't. And then I'm like, let me see if he notices. Hey, bro. Bro. He's gone. So I'm thinking, I'm slow a little bit sometimes. So I'm like, stop playing. Where'd you go? Like and you ever had those moments where you realize something in the middle of talking about it? So I'm sitting there like, bro, where'd you, and I turn, and I realize the fence is up, and all I see is Elmo coming through the fence. I just take off running. I run so fast, I catch up to him. We're neck and neck. And then I'm like, where's my scooter? And I look down and I'm holding the scooter. And I ain't talking holding like it's closed up. This mug is in full. And so I'm like, bro, I just took off with this scooter. And I'm like, wait, where's his bike? So I look and this is exactly what I see. But we gotta go. Bro got his bike in full stride and we're just running. We run for a good 10 minutes. And as we're running, he's like, man, we should stop and just get into the house. And I'm thinking about all the scary movies where everybody's trying to get to the key and they fumbling. And I'm picturing just, instantly was like, we're not gonna stop. We're gonna keep going. We ran for 10 minutes until we finally realized the dog never got out the gate. The dog is stuck in the fence like this. So that was the last time I got chased. But guess what? I never got caught. I heard Josh, hey. The only other thing that scared me more than this tonight was COVID. Some of y'all probably gonna be like, ooh. It's gonna be stupid, don't worry. So with COVID, I'm not gonna name the place I went to, moving out of state. If I accidentally name it. But we went out of state, me and my wife got sick. We got sick here. We went to another place, found out we were positive. So we're like, dang, we're just gonna just quarantine in the hotel. So we quarantined, about a week quarantine, it's horrible. Kicking my butt, I can barely move, I can barely, this and that. So she calls the, paramedics to come check on me. If anybody in here wants to be an EMT, paramedic, anything, if you walk into a place and somebody says, yeah, he's the one that's sick, and you look and the person sitting like this, you need to realize they need to go. You need to go to the hospital. The dude walks up to me, he's like, so what's going on? I just don't know. He's like, well, we hear you have COVID. Like, I'm so proud of you. Like, so he's like, we hear you have COVID, man. And he says some words that I'll never forget. He says, there's not much we can do for you. I mean, we can send you to the hospital, maybe send you back, but I ain't got no strength. I can't do nothing. I'm just looking at him aggressive. So they checked my breathing. My breathing was pretty bad, so they're like, okay, we'll take you in. So I'm like, thank you. So, excuse me, we get to the stretcher. They put me on the stretcher, which was risky. We got onto the stretcher, whoa! So then we start going and we get me into the ambulance, and as we're getting to the ambulance, he's like, all right, Mr. Baskin, we're gonna get you to a hospital. It's about 30 minutes away. I'm like, that's pretty long. He said, yeah, the closest one is about 7 minutes, but we don't want to stick you there. Oh, what the hell does that mean? I'm like, what? How bad could the hospital be that you don't want to take me there? I'm just picturing like the nurses walking in, stripping on the side, like, so I heard you're sick. You know what I'm saying? The doctor coming in, you got COVID? Me too. So I'm tripping. I'm like, how? Okay, 30 minutes. So we're in the ambulance and we're rolling. I never realized the stretcher isn't connected to the ambulance. It's only by the wheels. So the whole time, this is where I'm at. And the dude, I'm wearing a Seahawks shirt. So Tomaz, you're a Seahawks fan? Yeah. Yeah, they're not doing too well this year. Neither am I. So the other EMT's like, I'm gonna have to give you an IV, when we get to the hospital. So I'm like, all right, man, whatever. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, wait, if I'm shaking, ain't he shaking? So I look down and all I see is, you ready? To die, I'm ready to go. There's a red car out the window I'm looking at. And I'm just picturing, if I die just good enough, could I get right under that car? And I'm looking at the dude on the phone and I'm just picturing ruining his day. Just, yeah, honey, I got a black one. Man, honey, so I'm like, please, just let me go. And we get to the hospital, I'm tripping. I'm like, finally, we're here. And I'm like, okay, cool. I'm picturing like the movies. Like, get him on the stretcher, let's get him in there. Clear. So they are the most calmest people ever. They open the door and they're like, yeah, but my honey didn't make no dinner for me. So I'm like, let's go. We pull up and they rush me out, my eyes are closed. I'm rolling, I'm like, cool, we're finally in here. And we stop. And I'm looking up like, why we stopped? So I look down and there's a line to get into the hospital. So I'm stuck in line. So I'm like, let me just scout the town. Let me see who else is sick and see how bad it is. So there's one person in front of me and they're facing me. And they're just chilling, they're just. Okay, they might be So I looked at the other person, and it's a person with like a splint on their finger. They're sitting there like, So I'm like, bro, I'm worse than these people. Let me go front, man. Come on. As I say that, the person in front of me's cart gets bumped. And this is all I see. So I'm like, well, I might not be the worst here. But then again, Let me get next. But jokes aside, we get into the hospital. I appreciate all the EMT. I appreciate them for taking care of me. Get to the hospital, and it was a story because my doctor didn't like me, and I didn't like my doctor. He didn't like me because he thought I was one of those Facebook warriors who reads articles all day on Facebook. Like, no, this is what I need. This is da-da-da-da. I didn't like him because what he told me when he first met me. I'm in the ER, drink some apple juice. He walks in, clipboard off. Hi, Mr. Baskin. Yeah, COVID. Had a guy just like you. As he said, just like you, he did this. Just like you. And I had him last week with COVID. He didn't make it. I'll see what I can do. And walks out. What am I gonna do? So, he didn't like me for that. And the moment I realized he didn't like me, the moment it came true was, one day they wanted me to take remdesivir, which is a medicine. The CDC didn't approve it, but they didn't like not approve it. It was like a mixture of something where like half the people survived, half people had their organs failed. Right? So, TMI, I had diarrhea during COVID. And I ain't talking like, you're on the toilet. I'm talking about like, never mind. So they hand me the sheet and they're like, Mr. Baskin, we think you should take this. And I'm looking through all the side effects, it's all like crazy. The one thing I see is explosive diarrhea. I'm already upset with what I got. I don't need no, Allahu Akbar. I don't need nothing else for whatever I got. So I'm thinking like, yeah, I'm okay. Thank you. No, thank you. You know what I mean? So the next day, the nurse is like, you sure? I'm like, yes, ma'am, please, I don't want it. The next day, my doctor comes in, he's wearing a hazmat suit. He walks in just like this. Door opens. And he says, I'm tired of you people. Oh, wait, the head, it gets you. I'm tired of people always making me feel like I can't do my job. So I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, what do you mean, do your job? And he's like, I have people, guys just like you who just kept ignoring me, all that. He died. You want that to happen to you? And I'm like, I'm fine. Like, I'm feeling better. I don't want to take it. And he's like, no, I suggest you reconsider, and walks out. So I'm like, man, like, what is he talking about? I didn't realize I was high at this moment. So everything he said was true, but what I said wasn't. All I was like was, he's like, you better reconsider. So he didn't hear nothing I said. So once he leaves, I come to him and I'm mad. I'm petty. Most of y'all here know me. I'm very petty. So at this point, I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna die. I ain't taking it. I'm not gonna do it. I start practicing playing dead for the nurses just to piss them off. Nurse walk in, Mr. Baskin, oh my God! Gotta get you. I'm mad as hell. And so what they did was, they got me. They did good cop, bad cop. They sent another doctor in a couple hours later, and he was like Sesame Street. He walks in, he's like, Tomaz, heard you don't want to take the remdesivir. Hey, I hear you, I didn't either. But look, I'm here. I made it, and you can too. Only if you take it though. My dumb behind fell for it. So I'm like, all right, so I took it, and again, I thank God for them. I thank God that we got through it. I don't like my doctor, but I got through it. I'm here. I was blessed to get out of the situation. My wife was with me the entire step of the way. She helped me out. It was only one time through that whole thing where I wanted to kill her. As we're leaving the hospital, we have an Airbnb. So I'm on an oxygen tank, by the way. So I'm here with it. So we get to the Airbnb, walk to the door, and I'm like, man, I'm tired. And I'm like, oh, open the door. She's like, I will when we get there. We're here, open the door. And I look at her, and she's like, it's 20 flights of stairs. So I'm like, all right, so I go up the step. And I'm thinking about that red car. Like, man, if I just jumped, I'd be just okay. I go up the next step, and I look back, and now I got like 3 or 4 steps, and I'm like, if I fall back, I can bust her ass and my ass. She looks at me. We get to the house, and it was a rough night, but I fell asleep, and I wake up to her being like, I want to check your oxygen, because you're making a weird noise all night. I'm like, I ain't say nothing. She's like, you just kept like doing this, like, I still didn't say nothing. Little does she know I was trying to hit her, but I couldn't breathe. So the whole night, I'm sitting there. 1, 2, 3. And I finally just gave up. But we made it. We made it out. Love you. We made it out. We got home, and I was excited to get home. I was excited to see my kids, see my friends, all that. And so we got home, and the kids were at the grandparents' house. So they came over the next day, and I'm dramatic. So I wanted to have like that moment of like the kids coming like, Daddy, we missed you. We're so glad you're alive. And we're all crying. I'm like, oh my God. Like, so I'm looking for that. That's what I want. So she picks the kids up, and they come home, and I'm sitting in the room. Lights all out, doors cracked open, and I got the blinds open just a little bit. I'm sitting there like Darth Vader. Honey, the kids are here. Settle in. So I look back and I see my son in the doorway. I'm waiting for him to look at me, and as he's looking at me, all I see is my daughter run by. Hi, bye. This little. So I'm like, okay, she ain't coming in here. So my son walks in. What's up, son? He's like, he's looking at me, and I'm just. I'm like, yeah. He's like, Mom said I gotta ask you, can I go on the iPad? So I emphasize it. I'm like, he's like, what's that? I'm like, it's my oxygen, because Daddy can't breathe. He's like, why can't you breathe? I'm like, it's putting the air through here for me, because he said the air and grabs it off my face. This is all I see. And he's giggling. You never realize how much anger you can have when you watching your son giggle, taking your air. So I snatch it back. I'm like, oh, dang, boy, what you doing? Man, I'm mad. And he does the thing, he's a Sour Patch Kid. He just hugs me, he's like, Dad, I really missed you. I'm so glad you're okay. I'm so glad you made it. I'm so glad you're home. And he hugs me, and I'm tearing. I'm like, man, I missed you too, son. Like, And then he leans back, looks at me, he's like, Dad? I'm like, yeah. So can I go on the iPad? Couldn't think of nothing to say. Didn't know what to say. All I can do was count. 1, 2, 3. Smack his ass. That's everything for y'all, brother. I appreciate y'all. On a real note, I really appreciate y'all for coming out. I really appreciate y'all for being here. The whole topic was fear, and it's a real message behind it. Y'all know me, I'm very, try to be deep, but this fear, like this, I was scared of this. I was scared to perform in front of y'all. I was scared to do all this. I was scared to come back to Regal. I was scared of COVID. I was scared of dogs. I was scared of a lot of things. I'm scared of moving to Las Vegas. But we can't let fear keep us from doing things. If I had never came back, I had never met y'all cool people. If I never told Karen about my aspirations of being a comedian, I wouldn't be here. We wouldn't have been able to have Jasmine show her skills and her talent. If I never took the chance and tried my shot at this beautiful woman, I never had this wife. My friends, my people, like, you can't let fear rule. You can't let fear keep you from doing things. And that's what I want y'all to remember. If y'all don't remember anything I ever say, if y'all remember anything I do, remember to don't let fear rule out anything for you. I love y'all.